MoneyWalk 133, God's Vision for You. Proverbs 29 and 18 says that without vision the people perish. And Hosea 4 and 6 says that for lack of knowledge, my people are destroyed. Those scriptures are speaking to the Israelites with regard to their lack of vision and the knowledge with regard to who God is, what his will is, what he desires for them as a nation, and can also be boiled down to the individuals not knowing, many of them not knowing God for themselves, not knowing what his will is for them, and having a lack of knowledge that is putting them in jeopardy. It's putting them in jeopardy of poverty, of being used by Satan to a great degree, and of not being able to provide and have the kind of freedoms that the Lord would have them have. And so we don't want to be in that position. One of the things that we want to do is to know that God has a vision for us, and not let life be about us determining what our vision is going to be based upon our own human intellect or worldly wisdom or worldly knowledge, but to let it be based upon what God has to say about himself in the scripture, our relationship with him, as well as what it is he'd have us to do. Now, with regard to this, God, he will share with us through prayer, through praise and worship in our times of devotion with him, and even our conversations and our fellowship with other believers. He will share things about us that will let us know what our gifts are, what our skills and abilities are, and just the kind of things that he would have us to do that might go against the grain of what man would otherwise think, man including yourself. He might have you do something that is totally different than what you thought your passion was going to be. He knows that if you will do it based upon his will for your life and his vision for you, that you will have the backing of heaven. You will have a scenario set before you where doors will be open that need to be open, and doors that need to be closed would be closed behind you, and where you'll be in a place to receive blessing and reward for doing things that are pleasing to him. If you go about trying to make a vision for yourself based upon your own intellect or what you think your own passions are, irrespective of what God would have for you to do, then you put yourself in a position of not having his protection surround you. You put yourself in a position of being led away from the Lord and away from the things that he would have for you to do. And that's why he doesn't want you to plan based upon that. When you plan based upon his will, certainly he's going to use gifts and abilities that he's given you or that he will give you in order to carry out his plan. He will also help you to develop a plan based upon entrepreneurial endeavors that he might have you to do, based upon the type of work or vocations and callings that he would have you to do. And not all of them are going to be something that we look at as spiritual. Not all of us are going to have a vision for being a pastor or being a missionary or being an evangelist or a clergyman or anything of that nature. We might be fulfilling the plan he has for us based upon the work that we do and how we go about managing our time, our lives, and our money as a result of having that vocation and as a result of what we give to that helps further the evangelizing and the disciple making that is to go on in the world. The job that you have might not be directly associated with that, but certainly the management of your money and how you give will have great effect in those areas when the vision that you have set your life on is based upon God's will for your life and his will then for the money and the resources that he gives you. So God is, he's trying to get us to see that that's the pathway from which he wants us to develop our vision and the plan to be able to carry out that vision. That is the foundation from which he wants us to be able to hear other voices that would add into helping us determine where we're supposed to go. That if those voices are focused upon what is God's will for our life and what God would have us to do, then they may be a voice that we need to listen to. But if the voice is something that would have us do something or go in a particular way that is not pleasing to him and wouldn't glorify him, then those are probably not voices that we should be listening to when we go about setting the vision and the plan for our life. If you have any questions with regard to this message, please email them to parlor@ameritech.net. May God bless you richly as you follow his plan.